One of my favorite things to do on Night Mind is bring you the old stuff. The forgotten, the lost, the buried, the unknown. The older it is, the more it feels like uncovering a relic. And considering this month marks 5 years of Night Mind, I think it's appropriate to dig up a classic too few people know about that helped make a real mark in this field of storytelling. But as always, it's best to make sure we'll be safe online before exploring mysterious material. So for this video, our friends at Surfshark are back to sponsor and help us out. You know the lay of the land by now when it comes to web series threats and real online dangers. Monsters, masked weirdos, and everyday cheaters would love to get access to your logins, passwords, bank information, and locations. Surfshark is designed to shut it all out using clean web technology, and it's available for unlimited devices, from your phone to your game console. Guard yourself against attempts to access your data, your emails, and your logins while receiving alerts about potential breaches, and stay safer than ever with a virtual private network that can run your activity through over 1,000 servers in 56 countries. And if you want an extra layer of security even while doing that, you can run blind search and improved incognito mode. They even have camouflage mode to keep your internet provider in the dark about it, so nobody except you knows what you're doing, who you are, and where you're located. And for those of you who use TikTok but are worried about losing access to it in the US, Surfshark is here to let you in while preventing any data tracking from the app itself. 2 problems solved with 1 VPN. Another Surfshark sponsor means another window of opportunity for a special offer to Night Mind viewers. 85% off of a 2-year plan and 3 extra months for free at surfshark.deal/nightmind. This special offer makes your subscription just $1.77 per month so you can browse securely on all your devices, and the link for it is in the video description below. Again, that's surfshark.deal/nightmind, where you can use the code NIGHTMIND to get 85% off a 2-year plan and 3 extra months for free. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video and giving an excellent offer to Night Mind viewers. Now, let's dive into a classic in the early days of unfiction that I've been waiting for just the right rainy night to talk about. YouTube has a website launched on February 14, 2005, and it didn't take very much time at all for creative people to see an opportunity for storytelling. We already know about one of the earliest to arrive on the platform, The Human Pet, which began November 17, 2006. 5 months later, early YouTube viewers would see the arrival of a vlogger named Louise Paxton. The story of Louise, or Lou as her friends call her, is actually a feature-length film clocking in at just under 2 hours, taking place entirely on her channel in a vlog format, and its official title is In the Dark. But as her mystery grew, it became known online as Louise Paxton, and at the end of the tale, grew to full notoriety as Louise is Missing. Because, spoiler, Louise does go missing. Not only did someone close to her put the information about her disappearance in the About tab on her channel, they created a website dedicated to finding Louise, which set the internet on fire. This all took place over the course of April to July of 2007, a time when projects like these were only just starting to become known as fictional immersive narratives, so viewers were genuinely concerned about a vlogger in London who had suddenly gone missing under some very scary circumstances. Eventually, the news did break in about 2010 that it had been a creative project, and Louise Paxton was actually actress Zoe Richards, who went on to work in a movie called The Torment under the same director. But up until that point, people had wondered on and off for 3 years what happened to the poor girl who went missing after months of torture in her London flat. In the Dark is a great viewing experience. As mentioned, it takes place entirely on YouTube, and I put together a playlist for you that can be found in the video description and the pinned comment. Just sit down, start the playlist, and off you go, on a really seamless experience that not only takes you through the story, but takes you back to the mid-2000s and the early days of YouTube. It's worth your time, especially if you love found footage films and haven't watched anything good in a while that understands the scare tactics and direction needed for this approach. I have the thought come to me a few times while watching, they just don't make them like they used to. But it's true. Domestic terror web series projects began with experiences like In the Dark, which laid the foundation for so much of what came after, and it really holds up. I encourage you, hit the playlist and watch it all the way through like a movie. Add my playlist to your saved playlist if you need to, or look it up on my channel from a smart TV or a big display connected to a device with a YouTube app if you can. That's how I watched it, and I'm seriously glad I did. When you're done, come back to me here, and we'll discuss this forerunner in the unfiction field. The story begins with Lou's last night in Norwich, hanging out at a bar with her colleagues. It sets the tone immediately. Louise is fun, loves her friends, enjoys the pub, and is the kind of person to wrap up a going-away party night in a YouTube video in 2007. Her friend Helen sees her off at the train station the next day. We're then welcomed to her new flat in London, where our story will take place, and we get an immediate and definitely believable reason for these videos to even exist.
Hi guys, it's Louise. This is my first blog for all you Norwich mentalists. So I'm here in my new flat in London. I'm sorry that I haven't got in touch already, but I've been here 10 days and it's taken a week for the broadband people to come and install my line, so I'm going to be uploading this later and sending.
Louise is a very cheerful, very likable girl, and it's fun to explore the flat with her and experience her enthusiasm for the new place. We know she's filming all this for her friends back in Norwich, but it feels like we're a new friend she's made too. We leave the bedroom and explore the usual territory: bathroom, lounge, kitchen, and then see something Louise is quite excited over.
This makes up for the crappy kitchen. Check out my garden. That is mine. Isn't it ace? Yeah. And I've got a pond. I'm a grown-up with a pond. And look at that, how beautiful, the sun. So you've all got to come down and we can have barbecues in the summer and lots of parties and a proper mash up. And I've got pots. So that's my bedroom window through there. I was in to begin with. And that's it.
We get a bit more fun in the flat with Louise, who is trying her best to show us her Scooby-Doo soap dispenser with one hand while filming, and then receive some backstory for one of the reasons that she moved.
I just wanted to mention briefly a little bit about Joel and say that I haven't just moved down here because of him and our situation. Partly it was because of that, and I came down with the hope of physically making distance between us and getting on with my life and being independent. We were together for a long time. It was nearly 2 years, and I did love the guy a lot, and the saddest thing about it is just to feel like I've lost one of my best friends. But I don't want to lose the rest of you, and I still adore him, and I will always have a place for him inside, but I want you to know honestly that I am feeling alright, and I'm even feeling pretty happy. I had a great week with Lizzie last week when I moved down. I feel strong and I feel independent and pretty excited as well about being here and having my own place and starting a new life. You don't always get that opportunity, and it's great. You've got to risk your heart to feel love, and now I've felt a certain sort of love. I would be glad to risk my heart again. So don't feel like I'm a problem area. Call me anytime and come and have fun with me. I'm still pretty cool. Even though it hurt, that's what breakups are, and I realise that now.
So, there's an ex-boyfriend in the picture that Louise was serious about for a bit, which is partly why she moved away. A fresh start, some distance from old memories. In our next sit-down, we gain more information on the backstory of the move.
I know, I've just been thinking about how I was able to come to London and do this and get a place of my own and start like the property thing and have my own real estate. What's it called? Anyway, yeah. And I wouldn't have been able to do this without Granny, basically. And I started to feel a bit guilty about it because, yeah, I was really close to her and, I was her only granddaughter, but or only grandchild, but I just think it's it's shit, isn't it? Like, getting someone else's money, which they never had a chance to spend, and just spending it all. I think it's because I spent it in such a big bulk on the deposit for here, and I just think it's, I don't know, like, someone works hard all their life and then they die and someone else spends their money. Like, they should enjoy it, surely, when they're alive. And so I've been feeling a bit guilty about that, and I've started to have, like, fun as well, so I'm like, I wonder if Granny would have been pleased with my decisions, but I haven't just wasted it, you know, I've put it towards something which will help me in the long run, so I think she'd be pleased. Thank you, Granny, wherever you are, you can hear me.
It seems Louise experienced her breakup and went through the passing of her grandmother in a short time, which left her with enough of an inheritance to put down money for the flat. Being able to do that for the first time, combined with a need to get away from a particular scene, certainly would be enough to open up the option of a move. Louise shows us a new stepper machine she buys while working towards a job that will get her a gym membership, and then makes a playful video showing everybody her secret talent, the dolphin spit. Then we experience the first interruption in Louise's new life in London, Stalker Video 1. Louise explains on camera that she needs to document an event that happened 2 nights ago.
And on Tuesday night, an intruder came to my house. I was woken up by the sound of a rustling, it was like a scraping noise outside of my bedroom window, and it stopped, so I didn't really think anything of it. I lay there for a while, and then I came through into the kitchen in here to make a drink, and I must have walked right past him, because on my way back to the bedroom, there was a man stood. I'll show you. There was a man stood at my doorway here, leaning against the pane of the window, and I rang the police on Tuesday night, and I told them that there was somebody at my door, and I'd asked him who he was and what he wanted, and he hadn't said anything. They said that they couldn't come unless he posed an immediate threat, and I said, well, he's at my door, and they asked me if he was still at my door, and when I looked, he'd gone. So they wouldn't even send anybody out just to check. They said to call again if it happened again, and then again on Wednesday night, last night, I heard the noise again, and when I came to look, the same. He was there again, so I called the police again, and again they said that they couldn't do anything unless it was an immediate. It's nearly 1 o'clock now, and for the last 2 nights he's come at around 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna film.
Louise picks up the camera again that night in Stalker Video 2 when she witnesses a human shape in the window of the back door. He's back, and while Lou tries to call the police, the phone battery runs out. She finds herself stuck with 2 options: hide or confront the intruder.
He's not here.
There was absolutely a shape in the window, and once Louise was done looking in the backyard, it didn't reappear. This was no trick of the lights, but with a disappearing act that quick, was anybody even there in the first place? There very well might have been. Watch the movement of the plants on the right side of the screen next to the door right after she opens it. Did you catch it? This faint back and forth movement as if it had just been disturbed? There's no telling whether or not some wind was at play, but we do know the shape was at the back door. Louise assures us that everything is all right in the next video, and explains the police won't accept the video as evidence. They need something more concrete.
And the boys, Ian and Pete, I really didn't appreciate the comments you left about it. It's not funny, and I have been quite upset about it, so don't take the piss. Lizzie, thank you for pissing off just as I arrive in London. I know you're here my first week, but I've really missed you this last week, so I hope your training's going well in Cardiff and you're learning lots about marketing. Yeah, Lizzie's gone off to do a trip. So, I look forward to seeing you.
Wow, we're well trained in understanding moments like that, aren't we? That sure isn't just a glitch. Something's gone on here just now on a level we can't see. Time to get suspicious of something a little bit scarier than the average intruder, especially considering what follows. In May, Louise finds an old coin from the year 1900 at the foot of her bed after waking up, and then records a video concerning some classic paranormal circumstances, the unexplainable cold spot. In her bedroom, she explains, the temperature is just fine, except for one side of her bed where it's unusually cold.
When I bring it into this cold spot, look, see? And straight back down to 9. Too cold. There you go.
Soon after this, we're given uploads concerning noises in the night outside her bedroom. This time there isn't anything at the back door, and nothing can be seen in the garden. Louise comes up with a plan.
I'm gonna leave the camera running and we'll see what we get in the morning.
Did you see what I saw? Once again, something isn't right around those plants by the back door. Louise comes to us again with a mission to stay up in anticipation of catching the stalker. She wants to get enough video evidence to make the police actually do something. During her reconnaissance, she reviews the footage from the previous night and check out what she found.
I'm able to see it closer. Right, so watching. There. Did you see that? I'll stop it and rewind it. Okay. There's the remote control. Where I put it? Got something in there. Oh. What the hell is that? I just found a shoe. Look. Just found a child's shoe in under my sofa. Can you see that? That's so weird. What the hell is that? There's a name in it. Amy. It's a little girl's shoe. So odd. That must have been under there all the time I've been living here. How weird. Unless it was in a removal van and got stuck under my sofa. So I don't want to be seen by this weirdo. pull this curtain across a bit and I get behind this one. And Wanker's not going to see me. It's a twatty thing to do though. To a young girl living by herself. Like, obviously they think it's funny. Just hanging out and being divvies. It wasn't part of the plan, moving to London and getting a stalker. Really out of order.
There's something in this video that Louise didn't seem to catch. Maybe it's a trick of the light, but if we look at the light source, which is outside, above the door aiming at the windows, it probably isn't. Look here, at the spot where the second bedroom window is illuminated. See it? For a second, something passes by the camera or the light source just enough to momentarily darken that window pane. The way it moves, it's as if there's something in the backyard, vaguely shaped, darting across. Could it be something as simple as Louise's finger while she adjusts that curtain that she mentions? Possibly, but the way it looks, the evidence doesn't suggest it. When we next see Louise, it's morning, and she reports having not slept, again trying to catch that stalker. She certainly seems off. Just how often has she been staying up? A tired appearance and a coffee mug in the next video gives us a bit more concern as she reports her interview with a nearby job prospect has been postponed. She's always trying to reach out to her friends as well, the Norwich mentalists.
I'm getting a bit itchy, really, being here on my own. Lizzie's still not back yet, obviously. So I'd love it if some or all of you want to come down and visit me. Otherwise, just an email would be nice. I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm starting to think you don't like me anymore. So get in touch soon, and love to everyone. Okay, bye guys.
The next two videos are actually YouTube concentrated, thanking subscribers who have appeared beyond just her friends, and discussing a YouTube 2007 time capsule. Her next video concerns the events at home, replying to a viewer who studied the footage from the night recon and highlights the presence of a potential orb. For those unfamiliar, orbs in photographs and videos are round spots of light, sometimes large, and some can be explained by normal, mundane things, while others can't. They're often attributed to the presence of spirits. Things get much more serious over the next few uploads, as Louise finds a muddy handprint on her bedroom window. An inspection from outside shows another handprint on the top of the frame, suggesting that whoever left them may have been trying to lift the window up. After another 2 nights of hearing noises, Louise decides to camp out in the lounge with a sleeping bag. It doesn't take long to see results. There's a loud bang that kicks off Terrifying Night, Part 1. The lights aren't working, and doors Louise had left closed have been opened. She makes her way slowly to the bedroom and turns on the light. Louise returns to us in the morning, trying to summon the courage to go back into the bedroom after blocking the door to the lounge with a chair. She's convinced that she's locked the intruder in, but there's only one way to make sure. Lou gets a knife and moves one cautious step at a time, working her way to the bedroom.
The bed was made. move the bed, move the bed, move the bed. Oh God, oh God.
In the next video, Louise brings us her findings about the wallet and what exactly scared her, but there's something else here. Right at the beginning of this video, the footage is intercut with something that was caught on tape beforehand. The way it looks, it's like footage of Louise on the right, and a figure to her right in the center of the frame having a door closed on them. What is going on here? Let's try to keep a lookout for anything else that sticks out like that.
I've watched the tape back of what happened earlier in my room, and you can see it on the tape, but not as well as what happened when I was in there. There's a moment on the tape where you can see the bed moves before I leave the bedroom.
Does it though? Let's look again. Ah, there it is. Upper corner of the bed there. Do you see it? It lifts up as if something had been holding it down. What does Louise have to say about it?
But it doesn't show it as it happened when I was in there. It felt like there was somebody else in the room with me, and somebody got up off the bed and stood up in the room. I also found this in the room. I found this wallet, and this is what was inside the wallet. We have a driver's license of somebody called Margaret Watts. We also have a checkbook. It's all pretty old and battered, and this checkbook is also made out to a J. Watts. And the receipts in the book show that it's been used as far back as 1993. There was this cutting from a magazine, which is of a place called Bel Air House, which is a Grade 1 listed Georgian building in Dulwich. There's also, in the wallet, we've got a photograph of a family. I've never seen these people before. I don't recognise any of them. It looks like a grandparents, possibly a couple, 2 children, and there's a blonde woman in there as well.
The place mentioned in the magazine cutout is Bel Air House, as Louise said, in Dulwich, an area of London. It's still in operation today as a very popular British wedding venue. Louise sits down for a phone call in her next video. She says she used the directory and gave them the name of Margaret Watts and the address listed on her license, which produced a landline number. Someone does answer, but it's not a comfortable conversation.
May I ask who's calling?
Yeah, I found Margaret Watts's wallet.
What?
What
do you mean you found it? Is this some kind of joke?
No, no, I found her wallet with her driver's license and cards and bank book, and basically I rang directory inquiries and I got your number from them, so I'm just letting...
No, you've got it wrong. It must be somebody else.
I have her driver's license, and there's a photograph in the wallet of a family and some children in the photo, and there's a lady with blonde hair in that, and the bank book is made out to 2 people. There's a J. Watts. Are you J?
Yes, I am. Look, I don't know who you are or what you want.
I found
My wife disappeared 10 years ago. I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Where are you?
I'm
Where are you speaking from?
Have you ever lived in a flat in South London? I live in South London.
Where in South London? I mean, you just ring me like this. After 10 years, I just don't know what to say.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cause any harm. I'm not
Do you know anything about my wife?
No,
Well, you've got her wallet, so you're telling me. I mean, I don't understand. It must have got there somehow.
I found it. I found it in my flat.
In your flat?
Have you ever lived in a flat in South London, or had friends, or? I don't know why it was here. It just appeared here. I've just found it. I just moved in, and I found.
I think we ought to meet. The police gave up looking for her years ago. Could I have some contact details, please?
Look, I'm sorry I rang you and brought all this back up for you. I don't know anything about your wife, and I've never met her, and
you take me quite by surprise.
So Margaret's been dead for about 10 years according to her husband, and the police gave up looking for her years ago. Margaret Watts is a murder victim, and the wallet is covered in dirt because it was buried with her. Whoever put this here knows precisely where the body is buried, and they wanted Louise to know about it. Her next video gives us plenty more to be concerned about.
I'm just gonna show you. Okay, came through here and the latch on the door was unlocked. This is unlocked, and the keys have gone from my door. I always lock this door every night before I go to bed, and it's unlocked. So this is where I found the key down here. It's my house key, and here's the key. It's covered in mud. You see that? And at the top there as well. It's covered. I don't know why my key has got mud on it. Fuck. But it feels really weird. Really cold. Oh my god. The key's moving.
Convinced what she's experiencing is paranormal, Lou attempts a seance with a tape recorder, hoping to hear from Margaret Watts.
Is there anybody there? Who are you? Are you Margaret Watts? What do you want? Shit. There's something on it.
It's difficult to hear the audio, but that seems unimportant once a figure that's been standing there the whole time suddenly moves. Still, we can examine the footage to get a clearer sense altogether of what happened. By taking the audio into an editing program, we can sample the background noise from the tape and then lower it in the track, giving us a much better chance of hearing anything that doesn't match the sample. The result is confirmation that there was definitely a voice, but what does it say? To me, it sounds like, "Get out the place." And the moment that's said, we see a threat moving in the background. But what is it? If we take a moment to play with brightness and contrast, we get a clearer picture of the scene. We know it's Lou's bedroom, and she's on the bed with the door open on the left and a white box with lettering in the middle. We've seen this perspective before, here, which tells us that the camera is with her pointing this way again. She's just holding it now. That means the movement we see is in her mirror. It was behind her the entire time. How do we know it's not a trick of the light from her position on the bed being reflected in the mirror? The light we're seeing comes from the point of view of the camera because it's built into the camera. You can tell by how constant the light is throughout her movement, and if her camera light was reflected in the mirror, we would see its movement in the reflection as Louise tried to make contact. But this lit portion, which seems to be the face of whatever was behind her, it stays exactly in position the whole time until it moves. And if you really stay concentrated, you'll notice it casts a shadow on its way out. The next video opens with evidence obtained by a viewer.
It was from the video I took the night that it was at my door, and I went to the door and I opened it and it disappeared, and as I was coming back in, this was caught on the camera, and it's a hand in my window. That's my lounge window, and this is there's a thumb, and there are fingers, and there was nobody.
Louise says that it's time for her to go. She's packed a bag and she's getting out of here for a bit. Her friend Helen was supposed to come stay with her, but she's twisted an ankle, so there's no other course of action. Mid-explanation, we hear a bang from the roof. Within moments, the light turns off and won't come back on. Lou activates the camera light and looks around.
Oh my god. That door was closed. The battery's going on. I've been sat here with the light on. So that I can watch the door. the dark.
The battery goes out, and somehow Lou survives that night. She uploads the video on June 25th and writes in the video description, "I think I let it in. Does that make any sense? That night when I opened the door, I don't think I scared it off. I think I let it into the house. Is that possible?" On July 1st, we have an upload featuring the only one of Lou's friends to really visit her, Lizzie, who was mentioned as a visitor during the first week in London. They actually write the video description together, and the only thing of note is a mention from Lizzie that all mentions of Joel, Lou's ex-boyfriend, have been removed from the video in editing. It seems they had discussions about him on camera. Louise seems in high spirits now that someone else is here to stay with her, and they have good conversation, bringing a touch of normality to the flat. There is something interesting that comes up during discussion for us, though.
I lost my necklace. My turquoise necklace.
Lost it?
My favourite one. Last night. Weird, I don't know where it is, I looked everywhere. But it's fine, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Louise means this necklace, which we've seen on her throughout the series. We'll get to that in a moment. Lizzie and Lou hang out, drink some wine, and just enjoy some time together until turning off the camera. The final upload, Please Help, arrives on July 4th. Louise is sleeping around 11:30 at night, and Lizzie is recording, hoping to take a walk around with the camera as a security measure. She explores each area, finding all is well, and returns to Louise.
Lucy, did you hear it?
Yeah, I did. Alright, that's kids. I'm gonna get out there as soon as Hey, I can't open the door, Louise. How'd you get the door open?
The keys in the door.
No.
The keys are in the door.
No, they're not in the door. There's no keys in the door.
What?
Where are the keys?
They're in the door.
Yeah, alright, don't worry. There's just no key. You must have put them somewhere else.
They're always in the door.
Oh, come on, I'm gonna sort this out for you, alright? How else do I get out of here? How about the French window?
It's gone. The key's gone.
Key's gone? Oh, shit, light's blown.
Light in the hallway. I put the light in the hallway.
Where is it? Where's the trick switch? Where's the trick switch? Calm down, Maris. It's alright. Where is it?
Oh, God.
Where's the trick switch? We've got to get out of here. We've got to get out of here. Okay, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Don't panic.
Oh, God.
Shh. Hey, what?
Something just touched me.
Oh my God. Okay, don't panic. So we've got to get out of here. We've got to get out. We've got to get.
And that's how it ends. No more footage, no more uploads. The video description is from Lizzie and reads, "I don't know what's going on. When I got into the bedroom a few minutes later, Lou wasn't there. I don't understand where she could have gone. Are you messing with me, Lou? Because if you are, it isn't funny. Is this some kind of stunt? Does anyone on here know anything about it? Seriously, I'm really worried. This isn't like Lou at all. I've been back to the house and it's just like it was when I left it. It doesn't look like she's been back. I'm going to take this tape to the police so it might get pulled. Watch it while you can, and please, if you can help, let me know. Now, that ending shot isn't going to just go by without a close look. Here it is as a still image, showing at least one pair of bare feet that only looks somewhat human, and something behind it that looks like a third leg. A patch of color to the right suggests a fourth, which could mean we're looking at 2 pairs of legs, 2 people. Or if that patch of color is something else, we're looking at a creature. Whatever we're seeing, the first pair of legs is obvious. We just don't know if they're actually human. This is all we get from the footage. Running it back and forth, we can see a moving patch of light frame to frame that gives us the impression of that possible 4th foot on the right. This might just be an artifact of recording. What we do have to concentrate on is what's completely revealed in the light, and there's no telling what it really is. In the Dark is thoroughly a mystery story. It's a mystery how Louise disappeared. It's a mystery what took her. It's a mystery how these paranormal elements come into play. It's a mystery how there seemed to be someone in her home and her car back to back. It's a mystery how Margaret Watts totally figures in. And there's more mystery I have to offer that's going to make your head spin, but it takes coming back to the note about the missing necklace first. Louise mentions to her friend Lizzie that she lost her turquoise necklace. Clearly, this has a visible effect on Lizzie. She doesn't seem to react as if it's just any old necklace that's been lost, and it might be fair to guess it's because the necklace was more than just Lou's favorite and she wore it all the time. Turquoise, as a stone, is known as a healing and protection crystal, and it's been referred to as a legendary stone. It's for personal protection, with a history of reverence by Aztec warriors heading into battle. So Louise ends up losing her protective necklace the night before Lizzie arrives to stay with her, and that immediate following night, she's attacked and goes missing. This is why the conversation about the necklace occurred in the first place. We're meant to make that connection. But Louise's habit of wearing a turquoise necklace and her friend Lizzie's obvious worry about it is one half of another connection we should make, and this one is a tough road of thinking to go down because of the implication. There's a way of referring to Lou's group of friends in Norwich that she just keeps on using. She does it in the very first episode in text form. She does it again in the title of a vlog asking where her friends are while she's out in London struggling, and she says it during the introduction video to her new flat.
Hi guys, it's Louise. This is my first blog for all you Norwich mentalists.
Mentalist. She refers to her group of friends as mentalists. Now, what is a mentalist? Let's hear it from the writers behind a website that's meant for magicians, illusionists, and mentalists. Mentalists are performing artists or entertainers who appear to be psychic and demonstrate highly developed mental or intuitive feats such as telepathy, telekinesis, and mind reading. Contemporary mentalists use a combination of misdirection, theatrical trickery, mental mathematics, keen observation, and sophisticated sleight in their stage acts to perform astonishing and jaw-dropping shows that leave their audiences simply spellbound. Some claim to possess supernatural mind-based skills. Others believe they are masters of misdirection and cunning perceptual manipulators. Whilst the debate continues in the sphere of magic, there is no denying mentalists are extraordinary artists. This new genre of entertainers use aspects of a magician's craft combined with an understanding of human psychology. Modern mentalists often mix traditional magic tricks with their mental maneuvers in what is a combination of psychological skill, suggestion, and charisma that astonishes and masterfully engages audiences. Mentalists have a keen eye, possess advanced memory techniques, can artfully read one's body language as well as lip read, are adept at hypnosis and sleight of hand trickery, and know how to use misdirection to their advantage. In effect, their trickery is based on reality. Basically, it's the fake psychic version of exactly what we do when we craft unfiction. A mentalist tricks you into believing a performance that isn't real through a combination of fantastic and realistic tactics. Louise and her group of friends in Norwich are practicing trickster performance artists whose subject matter deals with the supernatural. So, what does that mean in terms of the story? Simply put, the biggest mystery that would haunt audiences in 2007 while watching this, the question of whether or not what they're seeing is real, is also the biggest mystery in the story of Louise Paxton. We already know from a metaposition that it's unfiction. It's fiction that disguises itself as non-fiction. The real story is anything but, yet it presents itself as real as possible. But now we have to worry about the entirety of events inside Louise's channel being a mentalist performance. Perhaps one of the greatest mentalist experiments that she and her friends could have ever concocted. Think about it. She's got this group of friends who are all hyped to meet her at the pub, have a going away party, wish her well, and watch her on YouTube. This stuff is happening not only in a way that they can see it, but a lot of other people can, and their friend is facing an obvious threat that they acknowledge. But nobody comes to visit her or check in until the exact moment things go horribly wrong. They just sit back, watch, and make funny comments about a young female friend living on her own being stalked by some guy in her own backyard? Does that sound like a group of caring friends to you? Or does it sound like a group of mentalists who know about this brand new online platform that's just beginning to get buzz and could be used for a grand experiment? It's YouTube only 2 years into its lifespan. How easy would it have been to pull off a trick like this? Supremely easy, especially for a mentalist who knew what she was doing. And if you go to the playlist that Louise made, you'll find this video on subliminal advertising listed under the coyly named entry, Stuff. Think she might have been dropping some hints in character? Now, does this necessarily mean it was all a performance in universe? No, but it is a possibility we absolutely cannot ignore. We can also cross off one possibility thanks to an interview with writer and director Andrew Cole, conducted by Steve Powell of the UK website The Venetian Vase. I wanted Louise to have lots of friends back in Norwich, for 2 reasons. It made for a more rounded and believable character. It also allowed us to have other characters interacting with her online via comments and remarks that she'd reference in the videos. I played almost all those characters online, commenting, posting reply edits of videos. With regards to Joel, he was something of a red herring. Now, a lot of those comments from her friends are missing on YouTube, but it's been mentioned that there was a MySpace page Louise had in character, which I have found but is largely wiped out over the years of MySpace's downfall. This shows, however, that her group of friends was interacting online, meaning they saw everything happening and did nothing, basically, giving us more reason to believe they were in on the performance. And any idea of Joel being a vengeful ex-boyfriend in this tale is also confirmed as a trick. But what if the mentalist angle is purely there to clue audiences into the fact that this story was fiction and they didn't actually need to go searching for a missing woman? What if the events we've seen are legitimate in canon? The story ties are pretty wide open for you to put together, and yet they will never be closed. Could it have been Margaret Watts' killer haunting Louise, taunting her with objects from previous victims like the wallet, the little girl's shoe, and the coin? Could it have been a supernatural force that once haunted Margaret Watts, just as it haunted Louise? If it was a human force the entire time, how did they keep escaping from sight as if they were paranormal? Who was sitting in Louise's car? Was this sight at the time of Lou's disappearance even human? Why did we hear sound like the shriek of a monster when the lights went out that night? What to even make of this particular frame, with Louise in a very clear figure she must have seen? And how about this moment during that night when the lights went out and Louise felt something touch her, only to see her arm appear as if something had squeezed it or something invisible was squeezing it, leaving these ridges in her flesh? Mystery abounds in the tale of Louise Paxton. Was this the tale of a mentalist encountering real paranormal events and being forsaken by friends who thought she was running an experiment? Were they all in on it together, breaking new ground for performance online? Was Louise really taken, and was it by a monster? Or was it a human being delighting in the torment of their next victim in a career of murder? One thing's certain, this stands as one of the best early projects to ever arrive. It played to all the strengths, scared and mystified thousands of people, laid a foundation for projects to follow, and did it all in the span of just a few months, telling a horror story from beginning to end and throwing in a website and MySpace interaction to deepen the immersion. In the Dark is a treasure, and it's been a delight not only to discover it for myself and watch it all the way through, but to bring it to all of you here and celebrate its triumph and cunning design. I'd like to thank our friends at Surfshark once again for sponsoring this video and giving Nightmind viewers a special offer on their service. And I'd of course like to thank all of you for viewing. Major thanks to everybody supporting Nightmind on Patreon, who have made 5 years of Nightmind and so many of the adventures we've been on possible. Stick around to see all their names at the end of this video. And hey, just as a quick thing, it's the channel's birthday month after all, so if you're a regular viewer but haven't subscribed, why not, subscribe. You're already a viewer, and you'll be able to see new videos in your feed when they arrive and get notifications. Plus, if subscriptions pick up, we could hit 500,000 by the end of this year, which would be incredible. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and like the mysterious thing lurking in your backyard waiting to reappear, I'll be back again real soon. Sleep tight.